Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. This is a build video, and we're going to talk about the materials I used and some of the reasons why I did things the way that I did. So hopefully you find some of this useful. Right now on the screen you're seeing the materials lists, and I'm sure I'm forgetting something, but as we go through this video I'll try to remember some of the other stuff if I did forget something. So right here, bare bones trailer, just normal hauling trailer, stripped it down. Now I'm having one of my neighbors help me weld it. We welded up all the joints because it is a bolt together frame, and this just made it so much more rigid. Right here I'm just mocking up the floor joists to match up with the existing floor. Right here you can see that I'm adding the bolts to the frame, so I can bolt the frame, the wood frame, down to the metal frame, and then 3/8 inch holes with 1/2 inch tops so that the bolt can sit down inside. 3/4 inch OSB for the floor decking. I mean, this thing was so rigid after I put that on there. It was crazy how much that changed it. Right here I'm adding the 2x2s to secure the walls to the floor. These 2x2s are screwed and nailed to the floor. It added a lot of rigidity to the frame. Also made it, gave it some shear strength so that it wouldn't just shear off because of the screws. So the nails give that shear strength to it. And right here I'm just mocking up the sides, getting them on there. I used some 2x3s and screwed them into the side to act as a guide, because I left a 3/4 inch space on the deck for the walls to sit on the frame rather than just free hanging. It did add a ton of strength that way, because now all the pressure is being put on the frame rather than the walls. So right here you can see where it's flush. And then for the roof I'm using 2x3s, and they're cut to 46.5 inches so that they are the same width all the way across. That gives us a 48 inch wide interior. And right there you can kind of see the finished product of this portion, and then there's another picture of the frame and the walls sitting on top of the floor. On the interior here I did add a 1x4 across there at the top, you can see all the way around. That allows the roof frame to sit on that as well, just to add some strength. All the interior framing is glued and nailed with a nail gun. Here is the 24x36 inch window being put in. I did add framing to the inside as well so that the window was all framed out. You can see that right here. And if you look all the way around, you can see there's some framing on the inside as well. I did the same thing with the framing for the door and for the other window. This window is 24x24. And if I remember right, the door is like 30 inches wide by like 40 inches tall, something like that. It's a fairly large door. I didn't want to make it too small. Here's another picture of the inside framing. You can kind of see that around. That allowed for the insulation to have a place to grab onto and for it to sit. And I did use 1/2 inch foam insulation for the interior. Cutting out this door was kind of a pain. This plywood, this particular piece, sort of twisted on me, and later on I found out that I had to cut one of my top boards too long for the roof. So I did remove it, cut it down, and cut it to the right length, and then it was a straight wall. I messed up on that, but here's some more interior with the foam insulation. Got the roof all screwed down. Got the 1-inch foam insulation on the roof. Painted the exterior with an exterior paint that's water resistant, mold resistant, mildew, all that. Super easy to clean. There's about 4 or 5 coats on there. Spray foamed all the little gaps on the inside, just to seal up anything I could. I used white hardboard. It's 1/8 inch. It's super easy to use, super easy to cut. And that is for the walls and the ceiling. Got the windows all cut out, door cut out, put the back piece on here. Nice tight fit. Used a mallet to get it into place, screwed and nailed as well, all the way around, painted. I used wood glue and finish nails to add the interior walls. Framed out the door with 2x3s. The reason I framed it out is it actually worked better because I needed to build a custom door. The piece that I cut out was too warped for me to use, so I had to use some other stuff to make it happen. Used waterproofing silicone around all the windows and entry and on all the seams as well. Between the walls and between the roof and the other pieces of wood, there is wood glue and silicone in there. In the back here, I did add a 2x2 to sort of break up the bottom floor to give it a bit of a space to use, so stuff wouldn't slide around while you're driving. The exterior for all the seams and joints, I use this galvanized drip edge flashing. It's like $1.50 for a 3-foot piece. Super inexpensive. Used wood lathe screws, or lathe screws to secure the metal to the wood. Down here at the bottom, you can see I use the cedar fencing as a trim for the wall and the floor where they meet up. This was the first iteration. I had one bed, and then I added a second bed that's removable. It's about 6 inches tall. There's a little bit of space underneath. This piece of wood does come up so that you can use it. Added some battery operated lights in there. Foam mattress pads. Some window treatments. And carbon monoxide detector, smoke detector. A shelf there in the back. And then all that was left to do is to trim out the windows. I added a vent so that you could get some airflow in there, and then added reflectors to the top, front and back. And then all the lights are LED. And as you can see, the roof is all siliconed up as well. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching.